everybody, and welcome to another episode of Too Weird Didn't Watch, the show where we make fun of movies that we have not seen based on nothing but their weird descriptions.
I'm Brantley.
And I'm Albert. Brantley is reading something for us today. Brantley, what do you got?
We have something I have not seen that's super weird, and if you've seen it, I will be both disappointed and incredibly impressed.
Okay, well, this feels like the hat trick between disappointment and impressed. I don't know what I want to go for here. I don't know what to hope for.
Some combination of the two. So this is coming from 1980.
Okay, 1980. I gotta say, is this a childhood?
This is not a movie.
Oh no.
This is an animated series.
Okay.
It ran for one season in 1980.
We're building this up a lot.
We are.
If I have seen it, that's going to be real disappointing.
That's going to make it even better.
Build up. Okay, animated series around the early 80s or 1980?
From 1980, the year 1980.
Okay. Go for it. What is it?
Drak Pack.
I have not seen this, Brantley.
Drak is D-R-A-K. Space. P-A-C-K.
Oh, no P-A-K?
No.
They hadn't, okay. I get it now. This is the 80s. They were working on the 90s. They had a prototype for the 90s. They had it, sort of sculpted out of clay, but they haven't figured everything out.
I've actually been thinking about it. What we think of as 80s is really the 90s is, super 80s, the stereotypes. And then the early 2000s is, super 90s stereotypes.
Right?
Just weird. The last couple decades have actually just been a decade behind.
Yeah, the decade that nobody gives any love to is the 70s. It's just brown. And I guess maybe they had some good music sort of following the 60s.
Have you seen the second Austin Powers movie?
No, I haven't.
In that one, that's the one where he goes back in time to the 60s. And there's an American spy there that's from the 60s. And she's like, no, and he wants her to go back to the 2000s or whatever.
Right.
She's like, but I want to know the city. He's like, I've looked into it. Gas shortage and war, and that's about it. Also bad hair everywhere.
What do the 70s have? Anyway, tell us about Drak Pack. I assume the Drak stands for Dracula.
We'll get into it.
And the Pack stands for Pacula.
No.
Oh.
The series centers on three young men, Drak, Frankie, and Howler. Descendants of Count Dracula, the Frankenstein monster, and a Wolfman.
Just one of them. Not Larry Talbot specifically.
Just one of them. To atone for their ancestors' wrongdoings, the three, united as the Drak Pack, become superheroes.
How does the conversation go as they're forming their pack? Where they're like, should we be the Howler Commandos? Because I'm Howler.
Oh, wait, that's copyrighted. Can't do that one. The Frankenteens. No.
The Franken Friends. Yes, no. Frankie Friends. Come on, guys.
I do love the idea of Frankenstein. Keep trying to rename them with Frank in the title, and just no. We like Drak Pack. It's snappy. It's good. He's like, but come on, we could be the freaking pals.
It's just an ongoing joke.
Just a running gag in the background. Like Marco and the whole uniform thing in Animorphs.
Okay, yeah. What about Franken Fidelity? No, that even I don't like that one. Sorry, guys.
The Power Steins. No, Frank. They appear initially as normal humans. But whenever trouble arises, they strike their right hands together and shout, "Whack 'em!" This is called the Drak Whack.
Is there a song? Do you think there's a song that goes with this? Do the Drak Whack?
It probably does, some, transformation, because it's an 80s cartoon, so they gotta pad out the episode somehow.
Oh, yeah.
Because I've read some of these episode descriptions, there's not a lot going on.
I'm imagining it sort of modeled after the Humpty Hump would have come after this, but sort of in that vein of do the Drak Whack, or y'all, dude. No, wait, it's probably too early for a kid's cartoon to have hip hop in it, wasn't it?
No.
Okay.
And it's the beginning of the 80s, so you might have some 70s rock.
Do the Drak Whack.
70s rock.
I don't.
Which is a little tamer than that.
Do the Drak Whack. I don't know how to do 70s rock.
They then transform into a vampire, a Frankenstein monster, and a werewolf, respectively.
I was gonna guess.
How do you transform into a Frankenstein monster? Does he develop stitches?
What? That's an excellent question. He has to stitch. He has to get out a needle and thread. Everybody else is just well, to be fair, I mean, a vampire in most cases just looks like a dude. So he doesn't do
anything. He probably
anything.
gets like pale, pointy ears in the fangs.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe red eyes.
And then, of course...
Really, the werewolf is doing the most transformation
The werewolf is doing his... Yeah, but that's his shtick. Again, Frankie is left with the short end of the stick where he's like, guys, hold on, I gotta put the stitches in.
Now I'm a little greenish now.
He
loses the ability to talk in full sentences and gets back to Arrgh!
He has to do a makeup tutorial every time he changes. Hold on, it takes me a little while longer to do the Drak Whack than you guys.
I mean, again, he's just really just a big, strong dude. He shouldn't look any different. I don't know. It's fun. Their principal mode of transport is...
Oh, I thought you were about to say their principal as in like they're in a school. And...
That would be Monster High.
Okay.
Or the Ghoul School.
Okay.
Mode of transport is an amphibious flying car, which they called the Drakster.
So,
because Drak is in charge, so he is just branding all over the place.
I feel bad for
also,
Frankie.
It's kind of a pun on Dragster. I like it.
I mean, I get it, but...
This probably doesn't look like that because it can fly and go on water. Probably looks more like the Scooby Van.
Yeah.
With wings.
But you don't think, again, I think Drak is the overbearing friend in this friendship.
Yeah.
Like, he probably doesn't realize
he's the leader.
Maybe.
He's the Fred from Scooby-Doo, where he's just in charge.
For some reason, I can't separate in my mind these guys from being either, like, children or teenagers.
They're teenagers.
Okay.
They'd have to be. Look at the names they're throwing around.
Well, I don't know.
They came up with Drakster.
Do you think they have, like, girl trouble and stuff?
I think it's an 80s cartoon, so they didn't get that far. They might have, like, one episode where one of them has it, and it's probably the werewolf.
Well, yeah, I mean, those werewolf guys. They got hair all over, you know. So are you going to read some individual descriptions?
We're not done with the description of the series yet.
Okay.
But we will. We'll get there. Okay. The Drak Pack's principal opponent is Dr. Dread, a blue-skinned evil genius. Because why not at this point?
So he's like... Wait. When does... I'm curious. Watchmen comes out when? It's like later, right? It's... Dr.
Watchmen
Manhattan?
is very 80s, so it's like mid to late 80s.
Do you think that this guy was, like, Alan Moore was secretly, like, on the down low watching the Drak Pack and he sees this blue-skinned super genius scientist guy and he's like, I have an idea.
I think this is more like they watch Nosferatu and it's like, yeah, he could be blue.
Okay.
He just made him an evil genius. His evil organization, Ogre, which stands for the Organization for Generally Rotten Enterprises or Endeavors, includes Toad, Fly, Mummy Man, and Vampira.
Okay, so you have Toad, Fly, Mummy Man. Okay, so I assume Fly is the human fly.
Toad, Fly, yeah.
Toad is
probably either the creature from Black Lagoon or like a watery Igor.
I was about to ask whatever happened to the creature from the Black Lagoon, but Toad is a good sort of alternate possible take on
maybe
that.
Like a combination of those two, where he's like a hunchback water creature.
Yeah.
With warts.
Because this guy's gotta have, like, an evil apprentice, right? Just a lackey type. Sort of a slimy Starscream. I mean, Starscream's already pretty slimy.
And then there's Mummy Man, who is just a mummy.
The mummy.
Is also a man.
Yeah.
So most mummies.
I mean, he's, like, Egyptian, I guess? Is he a modern... Oh, okay, so do they keep up the shtick? Like, is he a modern day dude who... descended from a mummy, but then he turns into a mummy?
He's like an evil... He could have been a member of the Drak Pack, but he was evil. Or he's like corrupted by Dr. Dread's influence.
At least his transformation is less painful than Frankie's, though, because he can just put the bandages on.
Hang on. Rapping. Hang on. We'll fight in a second. I gotta wrap myself. Frank's gotta put on his makeup. Everybody chill. The other ones are sitting there just like... You know, we could just wait till they're done before transforming. Now I'm just itchy because it's hot out. Covered in fur.
It takes place in Florida. That guy's gonna need a shower at the end of the day. That's without transforming.
Just all kinds of not funness.
So we got Toad. There's Mummy Man. What was the other one?
Fly and Vampira.
Fly. Okay, so there's another.
Vampire just...
And as a girl vampire.
Femme fatale vampire, yeah.
Right. I would imagine that the Girl Trouble episode that we've hypothesized is like them... Like, Drak kind of seeing her and being like,
you don't have to be an evil vampire. Or maybe like Frank gets into her and he's like,
oh yeah,
dude, I've seen lady vampires. You don't want to go down that route.
Or maybe it's actual Vampira, in which case everybody's into that.
Yeah, right? When the Drak Pack needs counsel, they go to Drak's great-great-uncle, Count Dracula himself. And that is the description of the Drak Pack series.
Okay, but how does Dracula feel about the fact that this teenage whippersnapper with the, like, super team is taking his name?
I mean, it's his, great nephew, and from what I understand, he's in most, if not all, the episodes, so I think he's chill with it because he's retired. Okay, he's retired. He lives in a retirement home with, like, other monsters. From what else I've read into.
Oh, that's amazing!
That's another great idea. Can we follow that show?
I mean, that's basically Bubba Hotep, right? Wait, no.
Bubba Hotep was Elvis and maybe Kennedy, and then a mummy showed up.
Okay, right. Yes.
Hence the Bubba part.
But if let's just hypothesize the mummy, like, just hangs out, like, rather than Bubba Hotep, or, I'm sorry, Bubba Hotep is the mummy, obviously. But rather than Elvis killing the mummy, like, goes on a journey of discovery about himself and joins the retirement facility.
It's like the bucket list, but with the Universal monsters. I've never been to a beach before. Never just chilled with margaritas.
Well, it's kind of hard for you, Drak, because of the whole bursting into flames with the sun thing. Don't stop polishing my mellow. I'm getting old.
Got sunscreen. Worked in Blade.
That's fair, yeah. A real big umbrella, maybe.
Yeah. Alright, so, for episode descriptions, we have the very first episode of the series, of course.
Yeah.
And it's called Color Me Dreadful.
Oh, they didn't call it pilot?
No.
They were confident. They didn't need no pilots.
They went straight pun.
We're not gonna pitch this to anybody. Wait, why is it a pun? Color Me Dreadful?
Dr. Dread.
Oh,
It's not a good pun, but it is a pun.
That one's not even activating the pun registers in my brain, Brantley.
This is dumb.
By the way, we kind of skipped past it, but Dr. Dreadful as the name for a supervillain is, of all of these great names, really?
Great names?
Yes. Okay.
Drak, Frankie, and Howler. Dr.
Dreadful, though, is the lowest. Like, they wanted to do Dr. Doom. But
as opposed to, his minions, Toad, Fly, and Vampira. These names are
but those guys didn't go to college, okay?
Well, that's probably
this guy has his doctorate.
That's probably his surname.
That's the thing that they don't ever explore in comic books, is all of these, like, evil doctors, they did invest a lot of time in getting that degree, and nobody respects that.
I mean, Dr. Doom has a doctor. That's part of he was like roommates with,
Reed Von Richards. Reed Von Richards. That's an alternate timeline. Okay.
As opposed to Victor Von Doom.
Continue, though. Dr. Dreadful, what's happening with him?
Color Me Dreadful.
Okay.
I would like to remind you, this is episode 1 of the series.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Dr. Dread is feeling like a failure because the Drak Pack has defeated him so often.
It just sort of
starts out with, I lose every time! So he builds a color collector that steals the color from anything the ray hits. I've seen this episode of Powerpuff Girls. His first victims are the Drak Pack.
Why?
Who are now just in black and white?
Okay.
Which I guess is a good callback to the black and white movies.
That's hilarious. But also, I mean, this is Heinz Doofenshmirtz level of, like,
pettiness?
Innator thinking. I keep losing. I must build
my decolorinator.
It literally is that. There's no practical.
And then Perry probably hits him because platypuses are probably colorblind. He can still just defeat him just fine. It's like, I've just figured this because I always wear white and everything else, the color is behind me. It throws you off. But now everything's in black and white and they just slaps him. Because he's Perry.
Perry!
Yeah, that sting happens. And then, like, he plops up like a little, just like a book that says that platypus are colorblind. It's like, oh, I was doing it from the start.
Man,
curse you,
that show was gone too soon after 3 or 4 seasons.
It was a good show.
It was.
That's the description for episode 1.
Okay.
Dreadful.
Okay. I do
not a strong start, I feel. I feel like they're probably like 15-minute shorts, not full like 22-minute episodes.
That's
probably
fine.
Like 10 or so.
If they're in, we already hypothesized that maybe they're in the same model as Phineas and Ferb. If they're shorts, like if they're the same type of show, maybe they're also 12 minutes long, like Phineas and Ferb, and you can fit 2 into or that and another cartoon, probably more likely at the time. But I don't get it. I don't get what the plan is.
I included that one because it was the first episode, and you have to show where this starts. With him already being a super failure.
I can see, like, as you mentioned, I can see the appeal of the black and white sort of callback thing.
It's okay. That feels like if it was a modern like show like this, that would be like episode like 12, and they just got to fill out the season to get to the 13 or something.
That's
episode 8.
So what else do we have that's notable?
Episode 4, we have dreadful weather we're having.
Do they all have dreadful in the title?
Nope.
Okay.
That one, those two, and one I have later.
Okay, cool.
And the last episode of the season, or series. Drak, Frankie, and Howler are on vacation. It's episode 4, guys. Granted, in episode 1, we established that you've been defeating the dude constantly.
Working non-stop as teens, defeating this one doctor that nobody else will take on. Call the cops.
I mean, they're monsters. But Dr. Dread follows them. Oh no. What? Dread uses a weather machine, which is cool.
I like to think that they're watching him following them, and they're like, my dude, you could go to the beach too. We all need a break. Just give it a rest for 2 seconds.
That's one of my favorite things about the show. Go back to Phineas or Doomsports is just sometimes he's just on vacation.
Yeah, he's
like Perry shows us like, oh, Perry, nah. Like, my favorite one is like, I was at an evil mixer last night, now I have a headache. Just like, okay, you foiled me. Goodbye, Perry the Bear. Does a little nonsense really quickly just to get him out there.
A lovely implication in a kid's cartoon about drinking.
Yeah, he's got a hangover. It's great.
But so this guy's gonna come in, and I assume
he's gonna ruin their vacation
because now he's to the beach. Probably. I mean, they're not going to England because the weather machine wouldn't do anything there.
I'll make it hot. Yay!
Is this what love feels like?
I'll make it snow in England, and no one will know what to do. A little gold teapot with a lightning bolt on the side. That's his weather machine.
Oh no. Okay.
And it is dubbed the Tempest in a Teapot. It's a machine, not a genie. Hooked up to a computer to amplify its power to create a snowstorm in summer. Which, again, I've seen that episode of Phineas and Ferb. It was pretty good.
Well, also, why...
Talking about Swinter.
I don't like that song, though.
Really? It's alright.
I'm sorry. I love a lot of Phineas and Ferb songs.
It's very generically, like, non-copyright Christmas song.
There's already a lot of them that aren't under copyright, though.
I know.
But I was gonna say, why a teapot? Like, I would understand a teapot as like a fog producer or a rain producer, but if you're gonna make snow and you're gonna have a cartoon machine,
it should be like an icebreaker,
an ice box, maybe,
or even like just one of the snow blowers, just like jacked up,
like a big refrigerator with a fan on the front,
or it's like. I'm picturing
like
hooked up to a computer to make it more powerful. That they have just like around here when we, in Florida when we feel like having a little bit of snow for like 10 minutes in the middle of winter here.
Yeah.
It's like one of those, but giant and with like monster truck tires that he drives around. Winter!
But no, it's a teapot with a computer hooked up.
I imagine Vampira the whole time just super sassy and just mocks him on all these little plans he has. Just super sarcastic the whole time. She's got to be useful for something.
I don't know what Toad's doing during this time either. Like,
he's the assistant that constantly gets hurt. And he probably there's a lot of jokes of him not doing good in the cold or something.
Oh no, yeah, he's definitely warm-blooded. I think he's like going to be
18 blankets on all time during this episode. Just coats and a whole bunch of scarves. Next up, we have episode 6, Night of the Terbites.
How is Terbites spelled in this?
Terbites. So it's like termites, but fast.
Oh, I was thinking of like terabytes, but with like a letter missing.
It's from the 80s. I don't think they would have done that.
Yeah, well, they did have a computer in episode 4.
They did.
Must have been like
it was hooked up to a magic teapot with a lightning bolt on the side to make snow.
It's interesting how computers have gotten more impressive and somehow they can
less
do
magical
less now.
and yeah.
Go ahead.
Dr. Dread has a new invention called the Terbites.
Well, no surprise there.
They are little pink eggs with little legs and feet, and big teeth and appetites.
I think this exists now. What are they called? No, Hatchimals. This guy invented Hatchimals, right?
I guess. Upon command, the Terbites will eat anything. Meanwhile, Drak, Frankie, and the Howler are going to a monster disco party, because they don't care, because they're like, we'll solve this within 5 minutes anyways. Let's go dance. And you know it's 1980, not any time after that, because disco's still happening.
Yeah. Disco will never die. I love that joke in Airplane.
Like 2 hours from now.
They were writing this episode in the 70s.
Yeah.
And they're like,
they wrote all of them in 79. It's like, man, yeah, the kids are into this. And then it's 81. It's like, man, no wonder we didn't get a single season. That episode with the disco killed us, guys. We got that season 2. Next up, we have episode 8, Hideout Hotel.
Okay.
Which is, for title. It's not stupid, but it's just kind of bland.
Well, as an idea, it's interesting of like, we're a hotel, but I think they're making a movie about this right now, about a hotel that caters... The Artemis?
Yeah.
Yeah. Caters specifically to people who are hiding out.
Which makes me think of the idea I had, Caretaker. Only it's not, retired.
Yes. I don't want to go on that rabbit trail too far, but it's an excellent idea.
This adventure begins with a beach scene in Florida. Represent.
Yup.
Suddenly, a sea monster appears and scares everyone off.
Excellent. I bet I'm just going to imagine
this world makes sense.
Yeah, well, the monster is the monster from Atlantic Rim, the first one.
Like the actual monsters or the monsters on the cover?
No, the actual monsters.
Okay.
So the
big chicken leg dinosaur things.
Yeah, chicken leg T-Rex that doesn't breathe fire and has horns.
Yes. Anyways, the monster is Vampira in disguise. You have a frogman.
What is this costume
This is my favorite show I've never seen. In disguise as Ogre takes over a local hotel where Dr. Drat has invited every criminal in hopes of joining forces with them. All of them. Every criminal. They didn't all show up, but he invited every one of them. They all got a letter.
Do we want to include this guy that got a speeding ticket 20 years ago? I said every criminal!
I'm picturing flies having to buzz around, hand them envelopes, and it's like, did you get one of these too? What's the weird dude with the fly head? I don't understand. It's more fun if he just has the fly head and no wings or anything.
Is that not
Oh
yeah, I would assume that's what it was. I would also.
I mean, this predates the reboot, the '80s reboot fly, so we don't have big Monster Man fly. It's just a dude with a fly head.
Well, yeah. I just thought it would be very cool also if he has a little sidekick that's the fly size fly
with this normal head on.
It just hangs out on his shoulder.
In my head, the little fly thing is voiced by Vincent Price. Meanwhile, it's winter in the Drak Pack city.
Is that what it's called?
Their city. They're in the city, and that's where they live.
Drak Pack City. It's a hot one today in Drak Pack City.
Probably not actually called that, but Drak probably decreed that they shall only call it the Drak Pack City. And
Frankie's
whatever.
So sad. It actually was called Frankie Town. It's let's I got a fun idea, guys. Let's call this Drak Pack City.
He's but that's not what it said. Drak Pack City has a good ring to it. And Howler just goes along to it because he's just here. He doesn't care.
Howler wants Frankie and Drak to be happy and be friends.
Yeah, he's just the best friend.
Yes.
I picture those two fighting a lot. And he's just guys, let's just chill.
Yes.
Let's go get a burger or something.
Howler's a good dude. He's like
guy.
Pickle from Blazing the Monster Machines.
Sure. And anyways, it's winter in the Drak Pack City, and Big D is in Florida again for the Transylvania Retired Spooks, Specters, and Spirit Societies convention that would serve as a reunion for the class of 1702 at the hotel, which is of course right where Dr. Dread's having his whole all the criminals.
Wait, who is Big D?
That's Dracula.
Oh, okay. I thought this was
Dracula.
Dreadful. I was gonna say, did they call him Big D? But now I'm wondering if they call Dracula the Big D.
I just pictured Dracula in a pimp suit. But it was still black.
Oh, obviously, yeah.
Got that big old D on the front.
So he's meeting up with all of his old people.
He's got solid gold fangs.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Dreadful is, as you mentioned, having a party. Which, honestly, I would assume Dracula probably has broken some laws.
With all the murder and kidnapping and what?
I think maybe he probably got an invitation. It's just I'm just gonna go troll this guy who's mean to my nephew.
What are you gonna do with Dracula? What are you gonna do? The dude can do everything. Anyways,
he breaks the speed limit all the time. The dead travel fast.
So the final episode we have is the final episode of the series.
Okay.
It's in the bag, Dr. Dread.
And the bag's in the river?
I forgot about this part, and it's so dumb and beautiful. As you can imagine, Dr. Dread plans to find the lost city of Burbankium, which is spelled like Burbank, California, but with IUM at the end.
What?
Yes!
I don't. Okay?
Yes. Where everything is made out of silver.
What?
And currently under a desert. Because, California.
I'm so confused. What? Could it not have been El Dorado? What? I guess it's just like a little in-joke, like Burbank, right, guys? It's not the city of gold, it's the city of silver.
Yeah. That's why it's less well known.
Yeah.
Toad unknowingly activates the powerful vacuum cleaner that Dr. Dread invented while cleaning his laboratory. Which is, again, a super Doofenshmirtz.
I need to clean up all these cups that I've scattered.
Wrapped the city in aluminum foil and built a giant magnet.
There's like 30 of them. I could pick them up myself, but I'd rather invent a giant vacuum cleaner.
Vacuuminator.
A vacuuminator.
Vacuum cleaner. I'm still sourcing the name.
I love the idea of him. I think it happens several times where he just invents a thing that's already a thing.
That, and there's one where he says something innator. Because I think I already had like something along the lines of innator in the name.
Right. So what happens? Is there more to this?
When Ogre begins its plot of, trying to find the city and accidentally turning on the vacuum, which I guess just kind of makes...
Well, it probably sucks up all the sand.
Yeah, removes the desert, or turns into just like a Badlands desert.
Yeah.
When it begins its plot, they find the Drak Pack testing the new sand buggy as Professor Diggs works to find Burbankium. That, or he like turns it on and sucks up like this giant, massive pit of sand they just happen to be next to, like it's a construction site, and he's like, we can use that to find the city. And then meanwhile, they're just testing his sand buggy just to drive the guy around. In like 90%, if not more, of the descriptions that you've read, the Drak Pack don't care.
Is just trying to live their weird, monstrous lives.
They're just being teens.
They're riding their dune buggies, they're going to parties, they're hanging out at discos. Admittedly, that one got a little bit, outdated, but hanging out at parties. And this guy just follows them around and keeps wrecking their fun. They don't even want to hurt him.
To be in that one, he's not even looking for them. It's just they happen to be helping a dude who's also looking for the city. And he's true. Like, even when I'm not following them and stalking teens.
And again...
You probably got a bunch of jokes in that episode with the mummy feeling like he's home.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Reminds me of home. Shut up, mummy man.
Well, I wonder if the...
Vampire complains about her complexion in the sun.
The sand buggy was going to be...
Or she's got like a little parasol.
They had like a plant for a future episode. Or this is going to be the thing that's going to get people to come back. They have a vehicle now. They've got their driver's licenses.
The 80s and early 90s were real big on the toy-driven properties.
Right.
Now, granted, this is 1980, so it may not be in that...
Yeah, I don't think that had really kicked off yet.
But, it feels like it's getting towards the end. They'd, start going towards that mindset, maybe.
Okay.
Because a big part of the 60s and mid-70s was, get rid of the, corporate-driven America, and then they're no, money's nice.
Yeah. And we got Transformers.
Yeah.
And a lot of other toy-driven shows that, let's have that debate on another time, but we enjoy a lot of the things that came out of that. Mm-hmm. And that is it. Did not get another season, correct?
No, it was just the one season, for 1980. That one, the only time it could happen, it happens.
Glorious year of the Drak Pack. Similar time, by the way, of the Ghostbusters cartoon. Or is it a cartoon? Or is it just TV series? Not the real Ghostbusters, the one that came before that.
The old one, yeah. And there was a live action show, and then there was a cartoon.
Have you seen those?
I've seen parts of them.
I was thinking about doing an episode about the old Ghostbusters, not the one that everybody knows about.
Actually, I don't think I've seen any episodes. I think I've just read about them because it was hilarious. Because, when the ghosts, they were, advertising the Ghostbusters movie, people were like, why are they making a movie of that show? And then they saw, bits, it was like, what? What's with the backpacks?
But that was their problem? Wait, they have backpacks in this show?
There's these weird bags. I don't get the jumpsuits. They changed so much. My childhood is ruined.
Oh, that's going to do it for this week, folks. Thank you so much for listening. If you like the show, tell a friend about us. Don't forget to check us out over on patreon.com/Human Echoes, where you can help be a part of us making this show. Or not. It's all cool. We'll see you next week with another one.
Bye, guys.
Bye.